Hi everyone and welcome to One Six Figure Focus, and in this video I'm going to be unboxing and reviewing, this box is massive, the HotToys 1989 Batman. Let's get started. Okay, so this is the HotToys Batman 1989 2.0 MMS693. One of the longer reviews that will be on my channel because this figure is from the movie that made me fall in love with movies and I suppose fall in love with the character really. Michael Keaton's 1989 representation of Batman, of course, by Tim Burton and Jack Nicholson and everything. This box is absolutely huge. When I first got it and I came in the door, I thought, is that the right thing? It kind of looked kind of like a quarter scale box. It's not quite the same size as a quarter scale. Pretty basic, has a kind of a metallic look on it, and then down the bottom underneath bat symbol has the word Batman, some details. Just for scale, and this is foreshadowing my next review, I got both these figures off Lion Rock Toys, and I'm waiting to get a R2-D2 off them, original trilogy R2-D2, before reviewing the C-3PO. Taking off the slipcover here of this huge, almost quarter scale style box, just a clamshell underneath. Obviously I've taken everything out for review, and on the sides then you've got it's just grey and black with a grey bat logo and some information. This is pretty cool. On the back, after you remove the outer slip cover, obviously one side you have the clamshell, which is kind of like oval shaped, like the suppose the bat vault, whatever. On the back you have some grey silhouettes or just diagrams, drawings, or outlines, whatever you want to call them, of a lot of the different toys that he had, or kind of gadgets that he had. As a joke said, where did he get those wonderful toys? Some of the gadgets that come with him. So this is everything that comes in a box. You've got the huge box in the background. You've got the diorama base, clock tower, bell tower. You've got the Batman. This is a Jackson Shoe custom cape that I have on him. I will not be putting on the stock cape because it's awful. Hot Toys have a terrible track record when it comes to capes, and unfortunately for Batmans and some Supermans and other cape figures, I've had to upgrade and go custom. I just don't understand why I can't get it. So just be really clear about this. You're not going to see the stock cape on the figure because it's awful. What you see here is a Jackson Shoe drape cape. It's a custom E. So drape cape E, Jackson Shoe, and it's a drape cape type E that I have here. Drape's absolutely amazing. That's the kind of, when I think of Keaton, that's what I think of him, just standing straight up and down with the cape straight down like that, covering up a lot of the suit. It's just that kind of look at him standing next to the Batmobile. Really looking forward to getting that Jazz Ink 89 just to put him next to it. So yeah, like I said, in the box you've got that beautiful diorama, because this is the deluxe one. That's the diorama of the bell tower, clock tower, stairs, whatever, the gargoyle, which is removable. And if you remove the gargoyle, it's you'll fit this huge base in a Bleeding or a Detolf. I gotta say, figure's got a lot of present. It's not perfect. We're going to get into it. We're going to be zooming in different parts. This is just kind of a whistle-stop tour on everything that comes in the box. So you can see the figure, obviously. The only thing you can see here that is not in the box is that cape, because you're looking at a Jackson Shoe. Now this thing
This is what you will not be seeing today. I'm showing you to here. It is wired. It's very thick. It doesn't drape right. I've yet to see... I've seen a lot of reviews in this figure, and I've seen a few shots of this cape looking okay. It's just not for me. I don't like it. I don't like how it drapes. It doesn't really drape very well. That's the thing. Okay, and even like the wired, I think there's better wired capes out there, but unfortunately, you're gonna have to go custom. If you have it and you like it, more power to you. But I'm never gonna use this, and I just think it is terrible. And HotToys need to up their game. So yeah, that's gone. And yeah, what can I say? Not a fan of it, but this cape looks amazing. I know it's a review on the HotToys 89 and not a review on the cape, but I'm just showing you, this is, to get the most out of the figure, in my opinion, you need a custom cape. These are little chopstick looking things. I love the scene at the start of the first Batman movie, the 89, when he, puts his hands out and expands a cape. It looked epic, and again, I don't think it's possible with the stock cape and those things. That's what they're for, They slot into the cape and you put the arms out, and even putting the arms out, it's putting a lot of stress on this suit. Yeah, so look, just take a quick look at the texture. So the first drawback of this is obviously that stock cape is awful. Second drawback, I was just pointing out there, is a texturing, but we'll get to that. So you've got an instruction manual, crotch grabber that I'm never going to use, and you've got so many different accessories that are really cool. You got this batarang with the rope on the end of it. It's pretty cool accessories. There's loads of really good accessories, but the posability of this figure, bit questionable. This is the device. I think he attaches this onto the grapnel. I think he uses this, I think, in the scene where he asked Vicky Vale how much does she weigh, and I think that just drags her up, as far as I remember anyway. Vicky Vale's shoe, which is quite a big shoe. I'd imagine that's not really proportional, but you can put that kind of at the base of the clock tower, because of course that's when she lost her shoes or whatever. Or yeah, I think that's what that was scene. Yeah, I know that she takes off her shoes before she gets into the Batmobile in an early part of the movie. So lots of stuff here. So this is so small. It is the 1/6 scale, obviously. Controller for the Batmobile. This is what he uses to control the Batmobile in the movies, to put the shields on, to open and close the shields, and talk to the Batmobile and essentially get it to drive towards him on autopilot, which is pretty cool. This I would avoid using. This is a strange one. I'm going to come back to this later on, but basically it clips onto the belt and can be used to clip on the different things, like this thing here, the grapnel gun, because there's a magnet on this, but I can't get the magnet to work. I think, and that little plastic piece I showed you, that piece actually isn't in the instruction manual, so it's almost like they realized they messed up on the magnet and then included that, but that little black plastic bit can scratch the yellow belt. This here is one of the coolest accessories. Hard to use because of the while this suit can pose, and I think it's, from what I've seen, a bit better than the DX09. I think it's the DX09, the earlier 1989, the first version of this, 1.0 of this. Although it can pose better than that, it still puts a lot of pressure on the suit when you move the arms up, and the suit does gather. So I'll do a little piece on that later on. So you've got these two kind of like ninja star looking like things. These three, I can't remember what these things are. Three darts. I can't remember what they were. Were they smoke bombs, or were I cannot remember for the life of me what they are. This thing is the thing that kind of slips out of his hand, and he uses the base. It's kind of like it's like a metal kind of a plate, which he uses like a knuckle duster or something like that. This is the little device for moving the eyes, because it has the separate rolling eyeballs function. This is one of the 3 face plates. A lot of people were raving about this and they loved it. I think it looks a bit goofy. I will install later on and show you. I actually think the neutral one is the one that I'm going to go with. I do see Keaton in it. I see Keaton in this one as well, but I just think it looks a bit goofy. Just the kind of like bloodied up one. And the worst one, again, I will slot all of these into the mouth plates and show you. This one is again, I don't know where they're going with this. This is a definite miss. Heard a lot of people complaining that the likeness wasn't there on the 3 mouth plates. I think this is the worst one. I will never use this. And then I'll use the bloodied up one maybe from time to time, and because I do see Keaton and it just looks a bit goofy. And the neutral one is the one that I'm going to use the most, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, that's pretty much everything it comes with in the box. So this is the neutral one. Now these are all friction fit. You've got to take off the cowl if you want to adjust the separate rolling eyeballs function. You got to take off the cowl if you want to take out and change the mouth plates, because they're friction fit. There's no magnets. You just put your finger inside the in the neck and you pop out the mouth plate and swap in whatever one you want. So this one here, I can see Keaton in this one, especially as when you roll the eyeballs around as well, like, and you get a bit more expression, a bit more life, a bit more character to it. But yeah, I can definitely see Keaton here. I think maybe if I had to be honest, I think the DX09 mouth plates, from what I remember, had a better likeness to Keaton. Yeah, this is just terrible. I don't see Keaton in this, and it looks awful. I just think it looks really, really goofy. It's like, I don't know what it is with Hot Toys and Batmans. Now, I remember, like, I have the DX19, and a lot of the Christian Bale Batman mouth plates, if it comes with 2 or 3 or whatever, it usually comes with that kind of weird duck face because he couldn't breathe in the cowl, and it's just, Christian Bale did make that face, so that wasn't a Hot Toys thing. But this thing here, I'm just not seeing Keaton in that at all, and it looks goofy. This quite just the transition there between the happy, or there was not happy and sad, I don't know, like sad and happy there. The transition there made this one look a bit goofy as well. And I stand by that. Yeah, I think out of the 3 mouth plates, I can see what they're going with this. There's just like a part of the movie there where he's bloodied up and there's a bit of a smirk going on. I get that, but it's a moment in time. I think the one for me is the neutral one. I definitely see Keaton in it. I think from what I understand, from what I've seen, the DX09 ones are closer to Keaton. But I can see Keaton here as well. It's just funny as well, especially after transitioning from that other mouth plate. But yeah, mouth plates aren't the best. But this one here, this is the one that I'm going to use. Now, so we've gone through the mouth plates, which is a bit of a drawback. I don't think it's definitely not a deal breaker. The cape's terrible. I do recommend a custom cape from whoever you get your custom capes for. Now, this is one that's a point of contention. I've removed the point of contention. Sorry, I removed the cape just so we can really, really look at the texture on this. Now, I'll try to summarize this really quickly. I do not remember. My memory from 1989 Batman is that the suit was smooth. Now, I have seen 4K clips where you can see a tiny bit of texture on the suit. But let's face it, we didn't watch this in 4K back in 1989, so the suit should be smoother than this. The texture you see here, it's definitely not as bad in hand. It's not a deal breaker. It still has the presence. It shouldn't be there, but it is there. But it's something that I can get over. But from my memory of the 1989 movie, and I've seen it hundreds of times at this stage, the suit was smooth. Even on the 4K, there's a bit of texture, but definitely not as much as this. I think that's a fair breakdown of that. This texture was in the prototype though, but I think maybe we all were kind of hoping and praying that it wasn't going to be there in the real thing. But of course, look, Hot Toys prototype is usually what you get, but maybe a few percentage downgrade. So it's not a deal breaker for me. It's not as bad in person, but it is there, and it isn't screen accurate. Not a deal breaker. Still has the presence, and you'll see it at the end how I display it. But yeah, it's a strange move. I don't know what happened here. The texture, it's kind of does remind me of the Batman from Batman Begins, the Nightmare Batman. Just showing you the back. The cowl sits very nice. I gotta say, like the trump cards, besides that this is a 1989 Michael Keaton Batman, and I'm really, really excited about it. The cowl sits very nice. I really, really like the cowl. I think I can see the likeness in the neutral mouth plate anyway. They got the logo looks great. The belt looks great. I've heard people complain about the tone of the belt. I can't remember what the complaint was. Was it too yellow? But looks good enough to me. So this is just the back. You're never going to see this, obviously. And this is just the base. I say it's just the base, but this is one of the highlights of the entire set. So I would definitely go deluxe on this. If you are a 1989 Batman fan and you're willing to put a bit of money into this, upgrading this, for example, a custom cape like I mentioned, or maybe even custom mouth plates. I thought I was going to get the Jackson Jew custom mouth plate, but then when I got it in hand, I was like, you know what? This is fine. I still might get that custom Jackson Jew mouth plate because I actually have a custom Jackson Jew head sculpt for the awful Batman Begins figure that Hot Toys did, and I swapped it out, and it's night and day, and it looks great. This base is one of the highlights. Now, the gargoyle is detachable, and the advantage of that is it fits in a Mills bow, IKEA Mills bow, which I have downstairs. It fits in an IKEA Bleledens, which I have behind me, and if it fits in them, it's going to fit in the detail as well. It won't fit in with the gargoyle on, but the gargoyle is detachable, and if you've gone deluxe, you want to use this diorama base. It is fantastic. Just the sculpting, the paint apps, we got the kind of like wooden bits. They're all plastic, obviously, but the stone, the wooden, and the paint apps on it. Even like the detail on that gargoyle, it's heavily mossed up. Now this is what I use. I don't use the crotch grabber. I think it ruins the aesthetic of the diorama. It just takes me right out of the environment, and it doesn't need it. Like he can stand up on his own 2 feet. There's no problem. You're gonna be standing straight up and down, realistically. Like, well, I am anyway, because that's how, when I think of Keaton's Batman, I think of that. And his suit was, he couldn't really move that much anyway, so it makes sense. Now this here. So in the instructions, you can clearly see that you attach 2 pieces together. You can see it here, these 2 pieces together to make the grapnel gun. And part of the handle swings out. Fine. There's a magnet in the handle part. Now, you can then detach it, and if you look at where it says finish, you can attach them separately onto the belt. There's no mention of that little plastic thing. And it does say it attached by magnets. And it attaches like, so the handle is facing upwards, the round part is at the bottom, and then the handle is facing upwards, and then next to it you have the piton. Now I have seen 1 or 2 reviews where they say they couldn't get the magnet to work. Yeah, so here you can see, I'm not sure what those arrows mean. Obviously the arrows mean you click these together, fine. But if you look over here, the arrows are still pointing in the opposite direction, as if you take them apart or something like that. And then here you can see them apart in the third picture where it says finish. So you take them apart, and my understanding, you magnetize them onto the belt. Fine. But you can't, for the piton bit, it doesn't have a mention of the plastic piece, but you need the plastic piece. So what you can see here is, this is what I could manage to do. But if you look at that, the handle, the bit on the right here, which magnetizes on it, that's upside down. For the life of me, I could not get it. And I checked clips. When he takes this off his belt, there's a clip in the movie, and the piece on the right here is facing upwards. So the rounded handle at the end is supposed to be facing downwards, like in instructions, but could not get that to clip on. So it magnetizes on, but the other opposite way around. Now, how I got the piton on is that little plastic piece, which there's no mention in the instruction manual. It clips on, and there's a little hole, and the middle part of the grappling gun sticks in, so the piton is facing upwards. Now, if you notice there, I'm pointing out tiny little scratches, because this thing attaches on pretty tight onto the belt, so if you are going to use it, it'll more than likely scratch some of the yellow paint off your figure. Yeah, so that piton then just sits in. I'm trying to do it here on screen. I don't think it works out too well. There you go. So it sits in like that. And then I did manage to get the handle, which has a magnet in it, to magnetize on there. But as you can see there, it's kind of difficult to do. And when I did get it done, it was the other way around. It doesn't magnetize on, at least on my one anyway, the way it should on the movie, or the way it was in the movie, or the way in the instruction manual. Yeah. Now there's no way. I kind of wanted to do this pose with the drape cape down and him just kind of reaching out, just so you could see this arm come out from under the draped cape, which would have draped quite nice on this. But no matter which way I put it up, I noticed there's pressure on the armpit, which is a recipe for disaster over time. It's just so much tension there. I'd say after a few weeks, maybe even a few days, that could split. And then see the way it gathers on the his right shoulder there. There's a very clear fold. So the articulation might be better than the DX09, but yeah, it's not gonna do great for the longevity of your suit. This clip is just in there because it comes with 3 of these darts, and you can actually, using that same attachment, which I would probably avoid, you can attach in the little piton thing. I went back and gave this another try, and that's the best I could do. The magnet, I think what it is the magnet is in the wrong place. The magnet should be down around the round part, and that would raise it up and magnetize it a bit higher so they're next to each other. I think that looks terrible there. And the other way looks neater, but it's not screen accurate because the handle is upside down. So I think the magnet is in the wrong place in order to, if you want to do what it says you can do in the instruction manual or the way it appeared on screen. I think I couldn't do it anyway. Let me know in the comment sections if you could, but you're. So this is the little piece here, which I nearly avoid using. Like, if you kind of have to use it if you want to display the grapnel gun into 2 separate pieces, like I've tried to show you here in this video. It clips on by a friction fit, and there's a little round bit that pokes out there, and there's a hole in it, and you just sit. There's a little kind of a protruding part of the piton, the opposite end of the pointy end. Basically, you've got the pointy end of the piton, and then the other side has a little piece where you can just slot down in there, and this holds on pretty grand, but it's a tight fit, and it scratched a tiny bit of the yellow paint off the belt, so just be aware. Be very, very careful using it. Now, this is how I'm going to display mine. I would love to display it with that gargoyle, but thankfully, the gargoyle's not going to fit in an IKEA Mills bow, which I have downstairs, or IKEA Blaleeden, which I have here. Now, it looks incredible, but I'm glad that the base itself fit in, and it's a nice fit as well. It kind of fits in, still has enough space to breathe inside that cube, but you get to incorporate that beautiful diorama base if you just remove the gargoyle. Now, there's a bit of reflection there, obviously, apologise for that, but I just want to show you it does fit in there. Now, obviously, I'm not going to have it in a Star Wars line there. I'll show you exactly how I have it displayed in the next clip, but it does fit into your Detolf, your Blaleeden, and an IKEA Mills bow. So this is what I have downstairs. This is the movie icons display. You've got the 1989 Joker and Batman. You've got Terminator 1984, Robocop 1987. These are all household names, I suppose. So if we start from the bottom up even, the idea of this is that no matter who you are coming into the house, you'll be able to recognize these characters. So Deadpool and Wolverine, definitely household names after the summer. Mandalorian, the Mark III Iron Man, Terminator, Robocop, and then the 1989 Batman and Jack Nicholson Joker, which look incredible. So this is I'm really proud of this display. I think it looks incredible, to be honest, but I'm biased. So this fits nice and tidily into the IKEA Mills bow. So we're just going to take a look at how I have it displayed. Again, this is not the stock cape. This is the Jackson Jew drape cape, and it's the Type E drape cape. And I'm using the diorama base from the deluxe version here. I do have, you can't see it, but I do have the, I put together the grappling gun to have it in his right hand. I just wanted to incorporate one of the accessories because there's so many good accessories, but unfortunately, if I wanted to pose them with the accessories, it's going to put a lot of pressure onto the suit. So look, and I didn't want to clip it onto the belt because I've explained it's inaccurate. So I think this looks pretty damn incredible though. It's the cape that makes it. I may get the Jackson Jew cowl, but I really like the cowl on this. I can see Keaton in the sculpt. I love that you can use the separate rolling eyeballs function. I love the emblem and the pop of yellow in the belt. Like, that just screams Keaton to me. These are the key things. I love that cape. I gotta say, the custom cape, you got Vicky Vale's shoe down there. I'm just trying to incorporate some of the accessories because a lot of the cool accessories, it comes with like the remote control for the Batmobile, or the kind of device he uses, the device he uses in the museum that looks like a crossbow, is it? Yeah. So there, I'm just trying to show you here that he's holding onto the grappling gun there. Grappling gun sits pretty well in his hand as well. So look, this figure is incredible. Downsides, the stock cape is awful. Some of the mouth plates don't look like Keaton. The pose, while he can pose, the suit's going to gather, and of course the texturing. Upsides, it's a Michael Keaton 1989 Batman. The proportions are fantastic. The presence is fantastic. That diorama base is incredible. And with a custom cape, it's got so much presence. No regrets. I absolutely love it. Not perfect, but I absolutely love it. Okay folks, that's the end of the video, but before I end this video, I just want to take this opportunity to say a massive shout out to Lion Rock Toys. They're the Hong Kong based reseller that sold me this particular figure. They offer free worldwide shipping, they have a very user friendly website and excellent customer service. Always do your own research before buying any of these figures from Hong Kong based resellers or whoever. Do your own diligence, buy from whom you're comfortable buying from, but that's who I buy 99% of my figures from. Right, so that's the end of the video. If you want to support the channel, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. Let me know if you picked up this particular figure or not, and what you think of it. You can also follow me on Instagram and on X. That's it. That's the end of the video. See you in the next one. Good luck.